Well, good evening, everyone. My name's Arwen Picorni-Lip. I'm the principal here at Hinsdale South High School, although tonight the here is actually from my den at home. And so I just want to take a moment. I know we've said this over and over, but to take a moment and just honor and recognize how strange it is to not be together this evening, this night, and it is tonight too, but it's always one of my most favorite nights of the year and just enjoying the fanfare and excitement that comes from welcoming a new class into our South Pride family. So tonight, it is my honor to welcome the class of 2025 and their families here to Hornet Nation. Whether we're virtually or in person, you are still here and still part of our family, and I just want to acknowledge that. A lot of you were able to join us last night to pick up South Pride swag. So usually at this night, we take selfies under a big balloon arch and have all that fanfare, and we sell merchandise. So it was our goal last night to bring some of that fanfare to you since we couldn't do it in person tonight. If you have not already done so, class of 2025 students, we would love for you to tweet out pictures of yourself in your South Pride gear. You can do that to our @Hinsdale South HS Twitter account, or you can email them to me if you don't have Twitter, and we will flood Twitter all throughout this evening with pictures of you in your South Pride gear as a welcome. So I want to start tonight. Mike Holland, if you could advance the slides, please. I'm going to go ahead and go over the agenda. I have just a short welcome that I'd like to share, and then we will highlight some information from our building leadership team. We will do student welcomes. We have two of our students with us this evening to introduce themselves to you. And then the highlight and the bulk of the presentation comes from our Director of Counseling, Mike Holland, and wave, and all of our department chairs who will give students and parents an overview of what the course selection process looks like to help you leave tonight feeling very confident, both in the courses you select and in just the beginning of what it feels like to come to high school here at Hinsdale South. So a little bit just about myself as your principal. I graduated from the University of Illinois all the way back in 1998. I started my career as a social studies teacher at Joliet West High School, had several administrative positions there, and then ultimately made my home here at Hinsdale South as the assistant principal for curriculum and instruction for 10 years. And this is now year 4 in serving as your principal. On a personal level, I live in Woodridge. I have 3 boys. They're in grades 6th grade, 4th grade, and 2nd grade. So I just want to share, parents, I am living the challenges that hybrid and remote learning bring right there along with you. I know it is a very challenging year for everyone. We are remaining optimistic that next year will at least be less challenging than this year. The other thing that I just want to share before I introduce my team, I have the most respect and love for my junior high, middle school counterpart principals. But one thing I always joke with them about is they always tell students in junior high, and this is true for any middle school principal or junior high principal, they will always say things to students like, "You better get it together now because in high school, no one's going to remind you to turn in your homework." And I just want to share that that is not true. We ask them not to say that, and they say that anyway. But it really is a very nurturing, loving, caring place. So just like your schooling has been in elementary school and junior high, you will find that same love and care and support on a personal level here for you also, just like it's always been. So on that note, I'd like to introduce my team to you. So like I said, I'm Arwen Picorni, I'm the principal, and I'm joined tonight by my entire building leadership team. So I'll introduce them now and they will wave. Mr. Eric Martzoff, our assistant principal for curriculum and instruction. Dr. Carrie Paranto, assistant principal for operations. Mr. Mike Holland, director of counseling. Dr. Robin Vinoy, our director of deans. Ms. Lisa Elo, our Dean of Students. Mr. Joe O'Malley, our Dean of Students. Ms. Kristen Marks-Pascavage, Director of Special Education. Mr. Art Ostro, Athletic Director. And Mr. Nick Chavaria, our Director of Student Activities. And you will hear from most of them briefly this evening, and then our department chairs will introduce themselves as the evening goes on, and they talk about all of the wonderful courses they have to offer. So just to introduce you to Hinsdale South, one of the things we are most proud of and that brings us self-pride is that for the West Suburban Conference, we are considered a smaller school. We have this year approximately 1,350 students. But the wonderful thing about being a small school is we have the same rich District 86 resources as our sister school that has many more students. And so as a result, I always joke the way math works is that means our students have significantly more leadership and participation opportunities. So we have roughly the same number of clubs as high schools, somewhat twice our size. And we actually have the most athletic programs in the state. For any school our size in the state of Illinois. So that just allows our students significant opportunities to participate. One of the things that we have happen sometimes is we had a student who, when she started here her freshman year, she had never played volleyball, but she was so athletic and energetic that she tried out for volleyball. And her senior year, she ended up one of our captains. And she always shared that this was an experience very unique to Hinsdale South, and being a smaller school that afforded her the opportunity to do that. So this is one of the things we're proud of that our students, I'm sure, will speak up to. We don't require our students to be specialized in any one thing. Rather, part of our self-pride is how much our students flourish by participating and leading in a variety of things. This ties into our mission in District 86, so I just wanted to take a minute and read you the beginning part of it about why we exist as an institution. And that's to empower students to pursue their ideal future. So I know you can read it there, but just to kind of let that sink in, we believe that is our primary role as high school educators, empower students to pursue their ideal future. And we do that in a variety of ways. Our strategic plan walks through how we're going to actualize this. And we also spend a lot of time focusing on what we stand for and who we are when we talk about self-pride. So you can see there what we stand for. We have access, accountability, diversity, equity, excellence, perseverance, resiliency, respect, trust. And one of the ones I really want to highlight for you this evening is that idea of equity. So at Hinsdale South, I spoke that we are a nurturing, loving, kind place, and we believe that it is our job and our mission to give every student what they need to pursue their ideal future, no matter what that looks like. So we teach our students, and our staff will talk about the difference between equity and equality. So you can see in the picture, equality would be giving every student exactly the same resources and giving every student the exact same experience. When we talk about equity, we talk about giving each student what they need to be successful and giving each student what they need to pursue their own post-high school future and their own dreams. So you can kind of see that visual kind of just represents that difference a little bit. But it really does highlight who we are and what we stand for here in customizing our programs for each student. I wanted to share with you this evening, as I kind of talked about this idea of being a smaller school, and we wrap our arms around each student and giving each student that love and care and not being the big scary high school. I wanted to share some data with you quickly. So just last month in November, we gave our students a student belonging survey. We were slightly worried about our remote learning environment, making sure our freshmen were transitioning nicely. And so we did a survey just to touch base and get some baseline data about where our students are. So we asked our students, I feel accepted at this school. And I want to share that 92% of our current students selected either strongly agree or agree. And one of the reasons that's so significant, not just in and of itself, sitting at 92%, but these same questions were asked by high schools all across the nation. And the national average for asking high school students this question, the national average was 56%. So 56% of students nationally said strongly agree or agree to I feel accepted at my school. And at Hinsdale South, our students said 92%, or 92% of our students agreed to that. We then asked our students the question of how they feel amongst their peers. So other students here appreciate me for who I am. You can see that if you add up the strongly agrees and the agrees, 86% of our students said strongly agree or agree, and nationally that number is 55%. The next slide talks about I can really be myself at this school, and this is critical to our equity work and making sure that each student has what they need, not just to be successful academically, but also to feel that they're thriving emotionally. You can see 86% of our students said strongly agree or agree, and nationally that number is 42%. So the data done nationally was a kind of call to action to high school to wrap their minds around the work of inclusivity and equity. And so we are very proud of the work we've done and will continue to do. We also wanted to make sure that our students felt comfortable with their teachers and not just their peers. You can see that 94% of our students said strongly agree or agree, and I don't have national numbers on that one. We asked that on our own outside of the national survey. So students, I share this with you to remind you that you are coming into a place where we really want you to grow and thrive into who you're going to be. We do not want you to conform to any perfect model of a high school student. We just want you to be you. And so I have this quote that says, don't adapt to the energy in the room, influence the energy in the room. So for our class of 2025, you are going to change our school. You're going to make it better. You're going to make it you. And we cannot wait to meet you in person and to start officially welcoming you into our Hornet Nation. I want to turn it over now to our assistant principal, Mr. Eric Martzoff, who again is our assistant principal for curriculum and instruction. He's going to walk you through just some quick data points about our stellar academic programming that we offer here at Hinsdale South, and you'll hear more about this evening from our department chairs as well.
Thank you, Ms. Pokorny. Good evening, everyone. As you've heard Ms. Pokorny say several times, and it's a true fact, we are a smaller high school, but that does not stop us from being able to offer, as you see there, that stellar academic programming. And that program is what's going to allow you to flourish and to thrive and to grow into the person that you can become. You have a plethora of choices as you go through our school with our different options. As you can see there, we have been nationally ranked by the U.S. News and World Report, as well as the Washington Post. We've had all of our students, or the majority of our students, outperform their national peers on both the SAT and the ACT. What you see there is a picture of 3 students that had a perfect score on the ACT. Our South graduates attend very prestigious and competitive universities of Yale, Stanford, Cornell, Northwestern, just to name a few. We are nationally recognized in the Physics First Science program. We have a robust advanced placement program. That's the College Board program that gives students college credit if they successfully complete and pass the course and then pass the test. As you can see there, we've had over 600 students currently enrolled in over 1,400 AP classes this year alone. And we also have several dual credit classes that we offer through Loyola, through the College of DuPage, and through Moraine Valley, and in courses such as Spanish, French, photography, and our pre-engineering courses that you'll hear more about later. And we had 165 of our students who were designated as an AP scholar last year. So as you can see, we've got several opportunities for you to succeed, for you to push your bounds and to grow and to flourish into that person that we know you can become. And we are so excited to have you here and to see you become that person. And now I will turn it over to Mr. Nick Chavaria, our Director of Activities.
Thanks, Mr. Martzoff. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the class of 2025 and your families. So like Mr. Martzoff said, in terms of the world of activities and in just a second, athletics, we are really proud to offer, dozens of opportunities for students to, help them find that passion, whether it's connecting with peers, with adults, and finding an interest or activity or club or sport that helps define that student and let them define who they really are. It's a true part of the high school experience. All of our sponsors and coaches are immensely proud of our athletics and activities. So in terms of activities in particular, athletics, Mr. Ostro will talk in just a second. We do have over 70 different student organizations. Those can be service-based, competitive, or interest-based. And so we had, I think, over 1,500 students rostered into different clubs last year, and very similar numbers this year. So I would personally encourage all of you to encourage your students find something that is of interest to you and check it out. everything that you can imagine, from the Business Professionals of America to our Model UN program, mock trial, chess, outdoor, science Olympiad, you name it, and we have something for you. And I would encourage you very much to find something for you and find multiple things in the 4 years that you'll be a Hornet. So, and finding that passion really is, what Ms. Picorni talked about in terms of some of that South pride. So we very much look forward to providing you those opportunities next year. I hope you have a good rest of the night. And I'll turn it over to our Director of Athletics, Mr. Art Ostro.
Yes, hi, once again, welcome tonight. My name is Art Ostro, the Athletic Director here at South. And just going to echo what Nick and what our principal said. The opportunities that we have here are endless. And one of the things to go off of what Nick said is we have many of our student athletes that are involved in numerous activities as well as sports. So you can see on the screen right now, we offer 33 competitive athletic programs in the fall: boys cross country, football, golf, boys soccer, girls cross country, girls golf, swim and dive, tennis and volleyball. In the winter, boys basketball, boys bowling, indoor track and field, boys swim and dive, wrestling, girls basketball, girls bowling, cheerleading, dance line, girls gymnastics, indoor track, and Special Olympics. We have basketball. In the spring, for the boys, we have baseball, boys gymnastics, boys tennis, track and field, boys volleyball, boys water polo, girls badminton, girls soccer, softball, girls track and field, water polo, and then Special Olympics, we do a soccer program and a track program. Once again, probably what makes us so unique and so special with offering all these different athletic opportunities is there's very few of these sports that are cut sports. So I really encourage you, especially in your freshman year, to try something, because like Ms. Picorni pointed out, we had someone that had never played volleyball, ended up being a captain, and that happens throughout all of our sports. They try something, they fall in love with it, and they thrive in that sport. So once again, I just encourage all of you to try something. If you've never played a sport, try it. The opportunity is there, and we look forward to having you do that. So move to the next slide. So the next slide, we just want to point out our hashtag there. We wear black and gold. You will see that all over the place on our many social media accounts. We have a number of Twitter accounts. Our main one, Hinsdale South, at Hinsdale South HS, which is the main school one. And we have one for activities where, we'll put out different achievements that our activity groups do. And then at Hinsdale South AD is where I will send out all of our sport updates with scores and articles and things like that. We're also on Instagram and Facebook. So I just encourage you to follow us on there. I encourage you to start doing that right now so you can see what it's all about. And then the other thing, as we talk about having our kids get involved, we really want to ask you as parents to get involved. We have a number of different parent groups, our Booster Club, our Athletic Club, Hinsdale South Foundation, our Music Boosters, Post-Prom, and Class 2025 Facebook group. Really, quite honestly, this school could not run without the parent support that we have gotten over all these years. And with your help, we're able to do everything that we can do. So please, not only students get involved, but the parents out there, please get involved too. So thanks, and we look forward to seeing you next year, and enjoy the rest of the evening.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Dr. Carrie Paranto, and I'm the Assistant Principal for Operations. In April 2019, the voters of District 86 approved an almost $140 million referendum for our 2 high schools in order to advance our spaces to become true future-ready facilities. This past summer, some of the areas we worked on were our library, our special education and deaf and hard of hearing areas, various classroom upgrades, as well as our athletic outdoor fields, such as our stadium and practice turf and our tennis courts. This coming summer, we'll have additional work on our building happening. We'll begin projects within our cafeteria, our fine arts area, and our pool, along with 15 additional classroom upgrades. with the final stage of the projects beginning the following year. And this will include our auditorium, our career and technology education area, and our student service area, along with the remaining classroom upgrades. So we're really looking forward to all of the changes that are happening within our building. And class of 2025, we're excited for you to see all the changes happening. Now, I would like to introduce our Director of Counseling, Mr. Michael Holland.
Good evening, everybody. Very excited to welcome the class of 2025. So my name is Michael Holland. I'm the Director of Counseling and Social Work. It's my 16th year at South, and I am a Darien resident. It is indeed a nice place to live, and my own children will be Hornets someday. So it's a community and a school I really love and am passionate about. I'm lucky tonight to have the honor and the opportunity to introduce our two student speakers. This is really always one of the highlights of the evening. We know we got to get the essential information from the administrators, but the student perspective is the most valuable one. And so we attempt to identify students who embrace and embody all that it means to be a Hornet. So in kind of all aspects of their student experience. So we have two seniors to speak with you tonight. The first one, when he was sitting in your seat 4 years ago, was an 8th grader at Burr Ridge Middle School, and Jalen Smith, the floor is now yours.
All right, thank you. My name is Jalen Smith. I'm a senior here at Hinsdale South. I'm involved with football and track and field. I'm a wide receiver for football, and I'm a hurdler for track. As an 8th grader transitioning from high school from middle school was definitely an exciting moment for me. I know that people are thinking maybe, it's going to be something crazy. You're going from a school from maybe 300 kids and probably being the most popular kid in your school to a school of 1,400 and now just being a face in the crowd. But I can guarantee you that once you're comfortable with everything that's going on around you and you get used to everything, you'll sooner realize that high school isn't a bad place to be at and there was nothing to really be afraid of at all. Something I really love about Hinsdale South is the experience. And by that, I mean, you build a bunch of new relationships with people and you learn a lot more about people that you wouldn't have even thought to exist, because we have so many different types and variety of people that come into Hinsdale South. If I had to choose two teachers that had an impact on me, I would choose Mr. Holland and Mr. Chaveria. Both helped transform me into the person I am today. They helped give me advice, lead me the way, and just always have belief in me. So I thank them for that. For my future plans, I'm in between two schools right now, undecided, but I plan on majoring in accounting and playing football for the school that I do attend, but I'll try to get that figured out sometime soon, at least just trying to get, a little more info on what I want and how things should go for me. And South Pride to me, I'll say South Pride to me means that you're coming to school every day, ready to learn and bringing positive energy to everyone around you. You're never like the person that causes any drama or trouble for others, and people can always count on you to be the person that's going to be there for them. And a piece of advice I just want to give to the upcoming freshman class is that don't be afraid to go out and do things, because trust me, the time flies for sure. Like I see memories all the time and I'm like, wow, that was really me freshman year. So, just try to create the memories and the bonds that you can while you're at it, because I promise you time is going to fly. Thank you.
Jalen, thank you so much. I feel humbled to just be mentioned. It sounds like a setup. I did not know I was going to be mentioned, but I appreciate it. And normally there's like standing applause for students. This is one of those things, one of the many things lost in the virtual world. So I'm sure there's people at home applauding you. It's an excellent job. All right, our next student speaker is Bridget Rudolph, also a senior at Hinsdale South. And 4 years ago, when she was in your shoes, she was an 8th grader at Our Lady of Peace. So Bridget, please share with us your insights.
Hi guys, my name is Bridget Rudolph, and as Mr. Holland said, I'm currently a senior at Hinsdale South. I'm in a bunch of clubs and activities here at South, but some of my favorites and that I'm really involved in is volleyball, badminton, student council and Hornet Leadership Board, BPA, NHS, snowball. There's tons here to join, and I recommend joining as many as you can. I'm also one of the very first student leaders at the newly founded Young Life at our school, which I highly recommend checking out because it's a lot of fun and it's brand new. Next year, I'm planning on attending college and majoring in business, but as Jalen said, we're sort of both figuring that out right now where we want to go. But that's a problem you guys don't need to worry about for another 4 years. So now enough about me. I want to talk about you guys and high school and just all the new changes that are coming your way. To me, it feels like it was just yesterday that I was in your position, anxiously waiting for my first day of high school. I remember feeling really stressed about making friends, having a challenging schedule, and finding my way around the building, but all of those are totally normal concerns. And now looking back 4 years later, the best part about all those worries is that every other person your age is feeling the exact same way. I promise that you will learn to love Hinsdale South the way me and Jalen do in no time. I know it can be really nerve-wracking and also exciting at the same time, but I really encourage you to reach out to all of your teachers or upperclassmen like Jalen or me. If you ever have any questions about anything going on at school or just about joining a new club, honestly, anything. An awesome teacher to reach out to, I think, is Mr. Shavaria, as Jalen said. He's more widely known as Chevy among the students, but he teaches a freshman class and has been a mentor to me for 4 years and is an awesome resource to reach out to. There's so much to love about Hinsdale South. One of my favorite things about South is everybody's enthusiasm when it comes to participating in South Pride and school spirit. Every Spirit Week or in game day, whether it's football or basketball or volleyball, everybody really goes all out for the themes. And I promise it's not just the seniors. Everybody supports one another, and I think that's super, super neat. And I really embrace that about Hinsdale South. People also help support the various clubs in the building by participating in a bunch of fundraisers throughout the school year. I think South has an unmatched sense of community in and outside of the building. South Pride is so important here at school. To me personally, South Pride is being yourself wholly and completely at school, and more importantly, being accepted for that person that you decide to be. I'm really proud to represent South because I know that they're also proud that I'm part of the school, and I promise that we will feel the same way about you next year. My number one piece of advice, like Jalen's, is to be really involved. I encourage you guys to step out of your comfort zone. Join clubs and activities, even if you're a little nervous and you're not sure if it's meant for you. It's the best way to find out your interests and make friends, which is super important. Thanks so much for listening to me talk, and I'm really excited that all of you have chosen to join the community here at South next year. Thank you.
Thank you, Bridget. Excellent job. Thank you to both of our student speakers for sharing some perspective. As we move on with the presentation here, we're going to get a little bit down to the nuts and bolts of course selection. So I'm going to give a very brief overview of just some of the practical concerns, like how many classes do you choose and all that kind of thing. Then each department chair is going to have a couple minutes to explain to you the courses available in their content area for freshmen. So freshman year, there's some decisions that get made for you. So you have 5 required classes in almost every instance. There's some exceptions, but in almost every instance, you're going to have 5 required classes. Everybody has to take PE, and you have to take PE all 4 years. It's a great requirement from the state of Illinois, keep everybody healthy. You have to take English, math, social studies, and science as a freshman. So those are 5 classes, a full schedule 7. So 5 of the 7 are chosen from you. Parents, we're going to send you an email a week from yesterday, so December 9th, with our recommended placement in English, math, social studies, science, and world language, so that you have those recommendations from our department chairs and you're ready to go to think about courses. If you drove through the buzz-by last night, you got a paper version of a course selection handout. We emailed a link of it to everybody today. And on the back sheet, it has all of the elective classes available to freshmen. So again, 7 classes or 7 credits is a full schedule. These 5 are automatic, so you have to choose 2 electives to fill out your schedule. It's either 2 full year classes, a 1.0 is a 1 credit full year class, or if you choose a half credit class, that's a 1 semester class, so you would need 2 of them to fill up an entire year. So really your charge right now is in the next month or so before your counselor meeting is to gather information from wherever you can get it, students, department chairs, the program of studies, which there was a link to in the email today as well. The program of studies has descriptions of all classes and all requirements. and to choose your electives, or at least have some ideas in advance of your meeting with your counselor, which will happen in January, likely via video conference or phone. And speaking of the counselors, I lead the counseling and social work team, so I just want to give you a very brief overview. Counselors handle 3 specific domains, and that's academic counseling, choosing classes. That's something that everyone's pretty familiar with in the counselor role, or advising you when you have maybe some struggles or monitoring your academic progress. And also post-secondary planning, which for a lot of our students is planning for college and talking about applying, exploring colleges, financial aid. But as was mentioned in the strategic plan, it's about your ideal future. So whatever your ideal future is, we want to help you take those steps. In military work, apprenticeship, college, whatever it is, we want to be there to help you get to that ideal future. And then personal social counseling, which again is easiest way to describe it is counselors are your safe space in the building. They walk alongside your family for all 4 years of your high school experience. So teachers may come and go. You have that counselor assigned to your child for all 4 years to manage lots of different places and information in the school and be a hub to connect you to important resources. We also have wonderful social workers, and if there were ongoing personal or social challenges that we wanted some ongoing support in the building, we could connect you with a social worker as well. And I thought I'd come full circle a little bit. Those of you who did the buzz by, some of you may have taken the photo with our lovely media backdrop. The way we normally use it is senior year for an event we call Senior Signing Day on May 1st, when all of our seniors kind of declare their intentions for after high school. So as Jalen said, in a snap of the fingers, 2025 is going to be here, and we're going to be deciding about our future. And so now for the class of 2025, you'll be able to go full circle and have bookend photos of you standing outside the pool entrance on a cold day in 2020, and then again with your plans in 2025. So welcome everybody. Tonight, I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Anderson, our chair of English.
Hello, welcome class of 2025. This is my 23rd year here at Hinsdale South, and I can't say enough how you've heard from other people, but this is the best high school in Illinois. It's the best size possible for a high school. You can have a comprehensive program, but their competition is not as strong to get into any kind of activity or class that you want. You can be what you want to be truly at Hinsdale South. As you heard, you have to take English. So you're either going to take English 1 or English 1 Honors. English 1 Honors is the advanced class. That placement is based on my recommendation in discussing that with your teachers from your 8th grade teachers. I've had conversations with them over the last couple of months about the best placement for you, and also based on your test scores. You also might be recommended for academic reading, which is a class to help you build your literacy skills. And the focus of our classes, of course, is on critical communication skills. One thing I want to stress to you is we encourage what we call diagonal advancement. So if you start off in an English 1 class, you want to move in your later years into an honors class or an AP class, we can make that happen if you want to take the challenge. And we will try to make that happen. I've taught students over the years that started off in English 1 and academic reading, and I had them in AP classes, and they were very successful. So I can't stress enough that we really want to challenge you to be the best communicators that you can. Finally, we do have elective classes in English. You can take journalism, yearbook, theater arts, or speech. Our speech team took 4th in the IHSA state competition. If you have questions about your placement, don't hesitate to email me. Again, my name is David Anderson, and we're going to hear from social studies next.
Good evening. In the Social Studies Department, we are very proud of our extensive elective program, as well as many AP offerings that are available to you throughout your 4 years as a Hornet. As a freshman, we start you off in one of our 2 freshman courses, either our regular level World Cultures course or our honors level course, which is World History Honors. Just like Mr. Anderson does in English, I make my recommendations off of both the MAP placement scores as well as teacher recommendations, 8th grade teacher recommendations. Both of our courses are skill-based courses. So we focus on literacy skills, the writing process, and critical thinking skills. And our goal is to prepare students from either course to be able to move, just like Mr. Anderson said in English, into the AP lane. So a sophomore year, if a student wants to take AP Psychology or AP European History, you'll be able to do that because you're prepared at either of our freshman levels. All students across the board will be exposed to document-based essays and a substantial amount of primary source analysis. And I'm going to hand it over to Mrs. Julie Gobbets in the science department.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for being here tonight. This really is one of the more fun nights that we have where we get to talk with all of our incoming new students, which is always an exciting time. We're very, very proud of our school, and we know that you guys are going to love it here. So I'll just give you a little bit of a overview of the science department. It's very similar to what Mr. Anderson said, as far as you got the choice your freshman year of being in our physics or our physics honors course. Our physics course is an algebra-based course, and it's designed to work with concepts of Algebra 1. And therefore, students who are placed in Algebra 1 their freshman year take physics because of the overlap right there in the math. The physics honors course is also algebra based, but it assumes that students have full mastery of Algebra 1 concepts starting at day one of class. So what if your student or your child is placed in our integrated honors class or our geometry honors class or a higher math class, we will place those students into our physics honors class. Both of these classes cover very similar topics. It's just like the level of depth and the intensity of the math is different. Both of these classes integrate some earth science concepts that are easily explored with physics, like some astronomy concepts and planetary motion. So they're both very, very similar, but they do differ in the level of, I would say, the pacing and the level of math that is involved. They're very, very active. They're very hands-on and very lab intense. So if you enjoy labs, you're going to love these classes. As we leave then freshman year, very similar to what Ms. Lencioni and Mr. Anderson talked about, we really focus on the idea of diagonal advancement. So while we have about 30% of our students start in physics honors, by the time we reach a junior year, 50% of our juniors are in AP Biology. So you can see that diagonal advancement there. AP Biology is a course where students can get 2 semesters worth of college credit. And so it's just a really great opportunity. And we love to see kids do that type of diagonal advancement if it's something that they're interested in. Obviously, if you're not interested in it, we've got other options as well that are equally as fun. And just having maybe a little bit different focus. And then by senior year, we have even more advanced placement options and electives. And we just really love to create a space for students to be able to challenge themselves in science, but at the same time, also just appreciate how fun science can be. So that's the science department. I'm going to pass this on over to Ms. Karen Senkin, who is the math department chair.
Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Karen Sankin, and I'm the math chair. So I'd like to talk to you a little bit about the courses that are options for you as freshmen. Just like many of the other department chairs already shared, I do make the recommendations with the junior high teachers. We sit down and we take a look at your current placement and how you're doing in that course to make an appropriate class placement for you. The students that the most common placement for students is really the Algebra 1 course. It's a typical course. It's an Illinois graduation requirement, and it lays the foundation really for all of the future math classes that students offer that we have here. Some students need a little bit more support because they've got gaps in the foundation skills that are leading up to Algebra 1. So you may also see algebraic reinforcement as a support class as well. And this will just increase the readiness for the algebra. And lastly, we do have honors classes that are options, and these are really based off of that current placement. And so there's quite a variety. You probably saw that on the sheet that Mr. Holland shared earlier. There's like 7 different options. And really, it's just based off of that current placement in the math continuum. In order to take the honors classes, you must have already taken and mastered Algebra 1 in that 7th or 8th grade year. So our honors courses are really fun classes to take if you enjoy that creative problem solving. Just really enjoy the challenge of mathematics. We also have 2 AP courses that are options as early as freshman year. It just depends on the different the interest level in computer science, as well as if you've met the math prerequisite for it. But those could be potential elective options for you as well. But overall, our math classes are a lot of fun, give some really good creative problem solving experiences for students. And we're here to support the students along the way. I know math can be a challenging area for some students, and the teachers are absolutely wonderful and here to help in any way possible. So if you have any questions about any of the courses, or if you have questions about recommendations, I know the math ones tend to be a little bit tricky based off of that current placement. Just feel free to reach out, send me an email, or give me a call, and I'd be happy to discuss. And now I'd like to turn it over to Ms. Sarah Lombard.
Good evening. My name is Sarah Lombard, and I'm the Department Chair for World Languages here at Hinsdale South. We are so excited to welcome you to our school. And as Mr. Holland mentioned earlier tonight, as an incoming freshman, 5 of your classes are picked for you, but World Languages is one of the options that you get to pick and choose from. And within our World Language Department, we have full 4-year programs in 4 different languages, 3 modern, French, German, and Spanish, and 1 classical language, which is Latin. In each of those courses, you can start as a freshman in level 1 or 1 honors in French, German, or Latin. In Spanish, depending on your middle school experience, you may start anywhere from Spanish 1 to Spanish 2 honors, or even potentially Spanish 3, depending on your middle school experience. So if you can go to the next slide, Mr. Holland. Thank you. In our Modern World Language program and our Modern World Language courses, we focus heavily on our national standards, which in this graphic you can see are heavily rooted in communication. The purpose for taking our Modern World Languages is to speak those languages, is to talk with others and to communicate. And so to do that, our World Language classes, even starting with freshman year, are conducted heavily in the target language. So students can expect to be exposed to and immersed in that target language early on in their high school career, and that continues throughout. Part of that immersion and then exposure is through the form of authentic resources. We use a variety of resources with our students in the languages that they are studying, but really the idea being to get them to a functional level of language interpretation, reading, and listening comprehension. They need to be exposed to actual authentic language and not just textbooks that are written for a student. Another big focus of our program is on that interpersonal communication. Again, trying to help students be able to navigate social situations and navigate social transactions and such in the target language by the time that they finish their full program of study. Therefore, we call our program proficiency-based because it's rooted in a student's ability to functionally communicate in the language that they are studying. And for that purpose, we use programs that focus on grammar in context and not grammar for the sake of grammar, which may be different from experiences some of us have had ourselves in high school. The purpose of studying the present tense is to narrate and talk in the present tense. One of the things I like to highlight is in the World Language Department is the importance of starting World Language as a freshman. Again, as one of the choices you get to make as a freshman is to start language and which language to start. But the reason to start as a freshman and continue for your 4 years is it opens up a lot of doors for you in high school and beyond. One of those is through the State Seal of Biliteracy. Students who take 4 years of a language here in high school and then qualify for the Seal of Biliteracy either through a score of 4 or 5 on the AP test or through a proficiency test called the Apple test that we offer to seniors every year. Those students in the state of Illinois are awarded credit, college credit for free, depending on the university that they go to. It ranges anywhere from 4 credit hours of college tuition, college credit given to 12 at Northern Illinois University. They grant 12 credit hours for earning the Seal of Biliteracy. And so students can walk into college with 12 credits potentially, or whatever the university they're attending in Illinois grants them. Another reason to start as a freshman, as Mr. Martzoff mentioned earlier, is that we have several world language classes at the uppermost levels that are for dual high school and college credit. We partner with Loyola University for AP Latin, and we partner with College of DuPage for our upper level French and our Spanish 5 honors programs. So students are encouraged to take the full 4 years, and especially those entering Spanish 2 have that opportunity to get to Spanish 5 honors as seniors. The last thing I want to mention for starting world language as a freshman is that it also allows students who discover that their passion is language to take other languages. So students who take 4 years of one language and then take 2 years of another language while they're here at Hinsdale South, we recognize by the time they graduate as trilingual scholars. And it's something that we really encourage, again, as we encourage students to find their ideal paths in their futures. If language is your passion, we want to encourage and support that for you. Mr. Holland, if you could move to the next slide. So there's a lot of information on our webpage. If you are between languages, you're not sure which one is right for you, you're not sure what the benefits are as you're trying to make your decisions about electives, I encourage you to visit our webpage, which you can get to from the Hinsdale South homepage. On there, there's a section that says, which language should I take? And so I encourage you to check that out. These are just some clips from that page of the website. If you have any questions about the languages that we offer, about our program, about your placement, as Mr. Holland mentioned, as well as the core content areas mentioned, we do placements in conjunction with the middle school teachers to make sure that we're placing the students who already have some language experience in the right level when they get to us. But again, any questions, please contact me, check out our website. And again, we are so excited to welcome you here next year. At this time, I'll turn it over to Mr. Mogg, who is the Chair for Fine Arts.
Hello, everyone. I am Mr. Patrick Mogg, the Department Chair for Art in this case. Art has a plethora of options for all freshmen to take. As you can see on the slide in front of you, there are a lot of different strands that you can go down, but they aren't limiting. It starts with drawing and painting options for people who would like to learn how to draw and paint, to photography classes where you learn how to take photographs from digital cameras and cell phone cameras and film cameras, to things like digital imaging and graphic design classes, to ceramics and 3D art sculpture classes, and to glass and metalsmithing classes. And those are all have multiple levels of classes that you can take at any time, freshman through senior year. As a freshman, you can take drawing and painting 1 and photography 1, or you could take drawing and painting 1 and drawing and painting 2. We also offer a couple of freestanding elective classes. One is called Animation and Cartooning, which is what it says. It's a class about learning how to animate and do cartooning. And we also offer a class called Visual Art in Our World. It is a modern take on art, including things like graffiti art and learning about current artists. So if you flip the slide, Mr. Holland, you'll get to see that there's a lot of incredible experiences that happen from students who have started in drawing and painting 1 and have moved on to do incredible things like doing drawings that earn national awards at scholastic art contests, and who have gone on to do amazing things in that. Or like the next slide, which is our photography classes. Our photography students are constantly doing fun events like a Halloween photo shoot or a holiday photo shoot. They have entered their photographs into a lot of different competitions and scored very high and have earned a lot of honors. And our Photo 1 class, currently available to freshmen, is also a dual credit class with the College of DuPage. So you can earn college credit as a freshman taking our Photo 1 class. The next slide talks about our digital imaging and design classes. This is where you learn learn skills about graphic design by learning what it takes to do digital imaging and the process through it. And as you can tell, there's some really cool and different things that you can do with that. The next slide is about ceramics, which is our 3D sculpture art. You learn how to make pots. You learn how to shape bowls, all kinds of different objects out of the clay. We have ceramics wheels that you use. We have kilns where you get to fire the projects, glazes where you work on. It's a wonderful stress relief in your day to get to do some creative work in clay. The last strand that we offer in particular is our glass and metal smithing. And that is where you get to manipulate metal and glass using a variety of different items like blowtorches and cutting tools and get to melt glass and create very cool art. And again, it's another one of those classes where it's a good stress reliever in the middle of your day. And finally, the last slide for art is about our animation and cartooning class and our visual art and our world class. And eventually there is an AP art history class that if you're interested in earning college credit, because let's all be fair, when we went to college, there was a art history class that was required. There's nothing wrong with taking AP art history as a junior or a senior, so that when you get to college, you don't have to sit in that lecture hall like I did taking AP art history, because AP art history could get you college credit. Now, the next slide, I am Mr. Patrick Mogg, Department Chair for the Music Department. This one is pretty self-explanatory. The Hinsdale South Music Department offers lots of different options for students who come in who are musicians, including all freshman band members join concert band, or if you're a percussion, you join concert percussion. If you play a string instrument, and we want you, if you play violin, viola, cello, or bass, or piano, or anything of the string instrument family, we want you to join the string orchestra. If you are a person who likes to sing and maybe has never done it, the treble and bass choirs are open to you, even if you have no experience. These bottom three courses, treble and bass choir, beginning piano, and concert percussion, are all classes that you could take as a freshman if you have no prior experience in music. And if you were one of those people who missed out in 4th or 5th grade where you didn't join a band and you wanted to play the drums, well, now you can learn how to play the drums in concert percussion class. So if you go to the next slide, you'll see this focuses on some of the things that our bands do. Our bands have marched in the the Chicago Thanksgiving Day Parade down State Street in Chicago. We have been selected in a lot of different parades. We have performed at all kinds of different marching competitions throughout the state, and we perform high quality performance music. And last year, our Wind Symphony was selected to perform at the international or the state championship for concert bands. Unfortunately, it got postponed due to COVID, but we were one of the few bands selected to perform at Superstate. The next group is our choirs. Our choirs have a lot of different opportunities for you to sing in. Again, if you have no experience but you feel like you want to learn how to sing, you can join the treble or the bass choir and become a part of a group that performs all kinds of fun and entertaining, whether it's a madrigal event or a vocal jazz, or whether it's just traditional choir concert music. The next one is about our orchestra, which, as I said, we do not have a huge orchestra. Currently, we have 16 people in our orchestra. That is a small but powerful group with a lot of talent, and they play very challenging music. We're working on Sleigh Ride right now, leading up towards our holiday concert video release. But we also offer jazz classes. The picture on the right side of the screen is one of our jazz ensembles. We have 2 jazz bands and a jazz combo that is a class that you can take. It's during early bird, so the only way it would conflict is if you took early bird PE. So it's open to all freshmen to join if you play an instrument that's in a jazz band. We would love to have you. So with all of that, it is my pleasure to introduce Mr. John Madden, the CTE Department Chair.
Good evening, class of 2025 students and parents. It's my pleasure to talk to you all about the Career and Technical Education Department. As Mr. Mogg has stated, my name is John Madden. I am the department chair. CTE consists of actually 3 separate departments: business, family consumer science, and technology education. The first one that I'm going to talk about is our business courses that are offered to freshmen. The first one that you can see on this list is our Introduction to Business course. The asterisk next to that, there is an honors option available to students to take as a freshman. This also meets our state mandated consumer economics requirement. At some point during your 4-year path, if you will have to take a course that does meet that requirement. This course does. In this course, it's really very similar to a survey course. We talk about banking, budgeting. What does a business look like from a marketing standpoint? We talk about finance, accounting. really to kind of to dip your toe into all of the future courses that you can take at some of our upper level courses. We also offer Business Law 1, which is also an honors level course if you're interested in that. This course just gets you familiar with our court system, laws, contracts, things like that. We go on field trips. We go into the Cook County Courthouse as well as the DuPage County Courthouse. We get tours of all the facilities. Usually every time we go there, a judge will stop a trial, maybe not a trial, but last year he actually stopped everything, brought us back to his chambers and just let students ask questions of him the entire time for about a half hour. He just paused it. It was great. Our Essential Technology class is a computer-based course that is now moving into more of a hybrid of Google as well as Microsoft Office. Because as many students and parents can probably attest to, businesses now are using both. We want to make sure that students get that edge, and with students having Chromebooks, we want to make sure that they are prepared for all of their other courses. If you have an interest in design, we also offer our multimedia innovations in app design. We have iPads as well as Kindle Fires if students are interested in creating apps, whether it's for Android or Apple apps. So it's a very interesting class for freshmen to take. If you can flip to the next slide, Mr. Holland. One interesting thing that we do in our Intro to Business class is we kind of gear up towards second semester and we do our own mock Shark Tank, where students actually create their own business or business idea. And one competitive advantage that we have is actually a Hinsdale South graduate. In 2004, Mike Bolos graduated from Hinsdale South, and he actually appeared on Shark Tank in May of 2019. And he actually secured a deal. It's called Desk View. Some of you may have seen the episode, but he actually works with Kevin O'Leary. He's been able to come back. That bottom photo is actually, we take community members and we have them come in as well as Mike, and students present to them for actual, I think the winning prize this year is $500 that the winning business will actually receive. So it is a really cool experience. Mike's been able to mentor some of our students as well as they've kind of pursued their endeavors past the course, just on the outside. So it is a great course and a great resource. Can you go to the next slide, please? Other department that I also represent is our Family and Consumer Science department. As you can see here, some of the courses that are available to freshmen. One of our most popular family consumer science classes is Exploring Facts, so we call it eFacts. And it really is a survey course that goes through cooking, sewing, baking. It talks about merchandising and things like that. This does also meet your consumer economics requirement. It's fulfilled throughout the course. Some other courses that we do offer are culinary courses, Culinary 1 and 2. In there you learn just basic skills, whether it's safety and sanitation, to basic cooking and nutrition for you to cook either for yourself or for your entire family. Clothing construction is similar to a sewing course where the beginning is just learning about how to repair clothing issues that you may have, as well as we've had some students that have taken clothing construction and fashion merchandising and actually designed their own homecoming dresses. It's a really interesting course, as well as interior design, where students, as an end project, actually design their own model home. They design the furniture, they design the look of the home, and really do a 3D model of that using software that we have in our department. Our final department in CTE is our Technology Education Department. For freshmen, we offer Pre-Engineering 1 and Pre-Engineering 2 courses. In this course, we do a lot of 2D and 3D modeling using AutoCAD, which, if you know anybody in the engineering field, is really the go-to software that many people use. These courses are offered as dual credit with Moraine Valley. If you were to take Pre-Engineering 1 and Pre-Engineering 2 as a freshman, you would actually leave with 7 college credit hours for free. Basically, as long as you're enrolled in the course and you receive a passing grade, it's just an opportunity for you to actually excel and be able to share some of your knowledge. And it is similar to a college level class where you would be able to get that credit. We also offer our Woods 1 course. Woods 1, basically you get to do, you learn obviously basic safety skills with some of our machinery. And you will be doing about 3 projects throughout the year, 3 large-scale woods projects, whether it's tables, coffee tables. You really get to pick your passion of what you want to create. And our teacher, Mr. Swedko or Mr. Beasley, will work with you to kind of create that passion. One interesting thing that I can highlight to you that you can kind of gain out of our Technology Education Department is we actually have some students that are enrolled in Woods, and some of our advanced classes are independent project with Woods. This is a picture of our teacher, Mr. Swedko, who actually helped his students learn so much in his class that they were actually able to redesign and do a kitchen remodel at their home. So 2 current Hinsdale South students were able to redesign their kitchen and update it with the help of the knowledge that Mr. Swedko had given them, as well as just the skills that they learned in that class. We can flip to the next slide. And then one of the biggest things that we have just in all of our courses is it's really hands-on and critical thinking is really what we're pushing for. You can see from some of those photos, some of the advanced classes that we do have are upper level as you move forward and progress through your time at Hinsdale South. We offer a child development class, which we actually have students enrolled in that class that actually were children in that child development course in previous years. So there's essential skills that we have that we work on every day. We try and bring in guest speakers to provide real world experience. If you're interested in whether it's a college path or a trade school, we bring those in. We use state-of-the-art machinery. In the last 2 weeks, I've ordered, I believe, 3 new 3D printers. We're in the process of remodeling some of our kitchens for next year for our culinary classes, as well as just having up-to-date all kinds of things. We have great resources for students that are second to none. With that being said, I'd like to pass it on to Ms. Janelle Marconi in our PhD department.
Can you guys hear me? Good? Okay. All right. Sorry for that glitch. Welcome, families and class of 2025. I am Janelle Marconi. I'm the Department Chair of Physical Education, Health Education, and Driver's Ed Education. And this will be your first PhD program you ever enter. And hopefully there's more to come. Freshman year, we are focusing on a full year experience of physical, mental, and social well-being. And so there's a lot of team building involved, collaboration, and critical thinking. So we're working on a lot of your social intellect. When it comes to physical health, we give you a variety of games or sports to be involved in. So team sports, individual sports. We do, mandated by the state of Illinois, we do fitness testing, but we also do a lot of team building. Our main goal freshman year is really to get you acclimated to our school, to the climate and culture of the school, and also to build relationships. That's what we're really focused on. The mental part of it is all freshmen will go through a ruler curriculum. Now, the ruler curriculum is our partnership with Yale University and their Center for Emotional Intelligence, and it's been very successful. We've been able to identify a lot of students that might not feel like they belong so much, and we can hook them up and kind of get them paired up with our peer leaders who are sophomore, juniors, and seniors, but we also can have connections with other teachers or adults in the building. And then our social well-being, we have a really great program. It's our peer leader program. And what those are our sophomore, juniors, and seniors that will come in and work with our freshmen. They'll be involved in the ruler program, but they'll also come in and talk about things that you can do for clubs, activities, athletics, how to prepare for finals and that type of thing. The other nice thing about freshman year is that if you are 15 before the second semester starts, parents, don't freak out, but you can enroll in driver's education and create some independence. So I'll talk about that in a second, but Mr. Holland, if you can go to the next slide. So after we build this foundation freshman year, sophomore, junior, and senior year, you are going to be able to pick what we call PE electives. And so you'll be able to look for things that are more to your strengths. So we have things that are individual sports, which are a lot of more racket sports. We do personal fitness, where you develop your own fitness plans. You can do group fitness, which is a lot of different stuff with not only body weight circuit stuff, but yoga, Pilates. We have team games, outdoor education, tumbling. We have an array of things. You can get certified in lifeguarding. You can do aquatics if you're a swimmer and kind of prepare for your season. But we also have adaptive PE, where we work with our adaptive students, and you are a peer partner. A lot of our students will do this if they think that they're going to go into education in the future. So again, as you get into your sophomore, junior, and senior year, you'll have electives that will more suit your kind of wants and needs to be successful in your overall wellness. Next slide, please. And then what we also offer is, like I said, driver's education. So if you are 15 before the second semester, you can enroll or register for driver's education. Otherwise, you could take it your sophomore year, you could take it your junior year, you could even take it your senior year. But driver's education in our district, I think, is one of the most, it's one of the best programs in the state of Illinois. Our teachers stay up to date on all the mandates. We're constantly doing professional development. We are working with surrounding schools that we can all feed off of each other on how to best engage our students in learning about rules of the road, offensive driving along with defensive driving. The great thing about the program is you can get all your classroom and your driving, because you'll have 30 hours of mandated classroom hours, and then you'll also have 6 mandated hours of behind the wheel. And this is all done in the school day. So parents, you won't be bothered with running around after school trying to get them to a outside driving program or on the weekends. The one thing I will recommend, though, if you are interested, whether it's freshman year or beyond in driver's education, is that you do register for it when you go into registration. These spots fill up quickly, and usually people don't drop. So once those classes are closed, unfortunately, we can't just kind of add at the last minute. And then finally, our health education program, again, it is on more of your mental well-being and social well-being. And you can take this your sophomore year. Usually what sophomores will do is they'll take 1 semester of physical education and 1 semester of health education. And if you choose to take it in the summer, you are allowed to do that, or you could take it your junior and senior year. Again, it's a great comprehensive course that will cover more of your social emotional well-being. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Morefoot.
Hi, I'm Carrie Morefoot, and I'm the department chair for the Deaf and Hard of Hearing program. It is a regional program that is housed at Hinsdale South and has been happily there for the last 55 years. We welcome students from all over the region who are deaf and hard of hearing and placed in our program. The one unique thing is that we are able to offer our mainstream students the opportunity to take ASL, or American Sign Language classes, at any point throughout their 4 years at Hinsdale South. ASL 1 and ASL 2 are available to any student. And we do pair with the College of DuPage to offer dual credit for those courses. So if you are interested in adding to your foreign language experience, or to just have a different type of a language, we would love to have you take one of our classes. And I am the last department chair to speak, so I'm going to turn it over to our host and to our principal.
All right, great. Thanks, everybody, for your attention. We're very excited for the class of 2025 to join Hinsdale South. Next steps, as we mentioned, are that December 9th, you'll get the email with 4 course placements. You'll get an email late in December with an appointment date and time to meet with your counselor to finalize course selections. And then we will see you all next year. Our panel is going to stick around for a couple of minutes to answer any questions. The easiest way to submit questions is by using the chat feature in the lower right-hand corner of your screen. If you've been here and you've got all the information you need, then it was great to see you. We look forward to working with you soon. You can take off, and we'll stick around for everybody.
Mr. Holland, can I just add one thing before everyone leaves?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. I just wanted to give everyone a reminder that if you want to tweet pictures, remember to tweet them to @HinsdaleSouthHS, or if you don't have a Twitter account, you can just email them to me and I will post them for you. But just wanted to again thank Jalen and Bridget. You two did a phenomenal job of representing our school, and to everyone else, we just really look forward to meeting you. And like Mr. Holland said, our panel will stick around for a few minutes to answer some questions, or feel free to email any of us.
While we're waiting for questions, I will just to Rudolph and Jalen. It really was. Thank you very much. It was nice, kind words in front of all these parents and family members. It was really my honor. So thank you so much. Very nice.
All right. So the first question that came in is, can freshman students take early bird PE and then take an extra elective? So early bird PE is only available to upper class students. The singular exception for freshmen is if you need to take early bird PE to fit in an instrumental or vocal music, you can do that. But other than that, you cannot take early bird PE until your sophomore year. So that is the answer to that one. This one from Mr. Mogg. Can a student take jazz band and forego band?
So generally, if a student that is in jazz band is supposed to be in our concert band program, the main exception that we make are for guitar players, bassists, and piano players where there's not a regular spot in our music department. So if you are truly interested in jazz and not interested in concert, you can reach out to me and we can have a discussion about it. But generally, it is a requirement. In order to be in jazz band, you need to be a part of the regular band.
Ms. Marconi, does driver's education count as a PE credit?
Unfortunately, no, it does not.
There's another question wondering how they can find the requirements for high school graduation and which classes are required by the state. So there is a link to the program of studies was in the email. You can get that on our website. But when you're meeting with your counselor, one of the counselor's roles is as you're picking classes to make sure that you fulfill all state and all district graduation requirements, as well as fulfilling any college entrance requirements. For instance, like if you knew you wanted to go to the University of California system, we would say, well, you actually have to take a fine art to be accepted in the University of California system. So your counselor could help you with some of those tricky kind of nuances, but in the program of studies around page 8 is where our high school graduation requirements are listed. We got a question about if the PowerPoint could be emailed out. This was recorded, so we'll have that available. If you want specifically the PowerPoint, then if you could email me directly, Michael Holland, I can get that to you. Mr. Anderson, there's a request for more information about what the theater class looks like.
Which class?
Theater.
Oh, Introduction to Theater Arts is a class that's a full year class, and students learn all the theatrical skills. They analyze plays, but they are on their feet a lot, doing small scenes, and ultimately, by the end of the year, they're doing a full-scale play with everybody else.
All right, Mr. Ostro, how do we sign up for sports so we can find out about summer camps?
I responded to the chat, that question, but all summer camp information will be posted on the athletic website normally at the tail end of March or April. We'll be able to get all that information of what we have for the summer.
Ms. Sankin, if a freshman starts off in Algebra 1, will he or she have an opportunity to move up to Honors Math?
Correct. The answer to that one is yes. We do offer a summer course called Geometry Accelerated. This that would be probably the most suggested option to take the geometry, to fill the geometry requirement that's also needed for graduation. That will allow the students to take Algebra 2, then and then they'll take pre-calculus, and then they'll have AP courses for calculus, or calculus are available to them after that. AP Statistics is also available for that. So that's one way to get to the AP courses, the non-computer science ones. The other option too is that if you start in Algebra 1 and you just choose to continue and not accelerate to the AP courses, but just stay on the math track, the geometry, you can take an honors course as a sophomore, and that recommendation would come through at the time we do recommendations each year in winter.
All right, so there was a question about how our electives are laid out here, and there should have been a key for this because it is confusing actually now that I look at it. The question was, can I take Pre-Engineering 1 even though it's an honors course? Pre-Engineering 1 is not an honors course. This is indicating that there's an honors option. And that's the same for all of these. There's French 1 and then French 1 honors. So that is a confusing part about how I designed this. I'll take ownership of it since I made the document. So that was a good clarifying question for everybody. There's a question if we have an auto class. We don't have an auto class within the school, but we partner with the Technology Center of DuPage, which has a huge variety of programs in about 30 different vocational areas that has auto body, and CNA and technology and a huge variety of vocational opportunities that's available junior or senior year. All right, I think we have made it through all of the questions. If you have any further questions, as Ms. Pokorny said, feel free to contact anyone on this panel. You will know who your assigned counselor is in a couple weeks when we email you with the appointment. And from that point forward, feel free to contact the counselor directly with any questions. But really enjoyed being with you all tonight and look forward to working with you in the future. So thanks and be well.